What's going on, guys? Episode number 5.
What's up, guys? Episode number 25. We're back. Corey's obviously off-site again because he's Mr. Travel around the world. You know, Slap News is paying good these days. But we made it to the capstone, 1/4 of 100. Man, really, really excited. Corey, you know, we were together this weekend, man. You want to talk a little bit about why?
Yeah, I mean, we flew in for Fanatics Fest, had to check that out, everything going on in the sports and memorabilia world. Great to see you in person once again. I know we don't get too many opportunities to do so, so when we do, it's always great. Made the flight in there. I mean, 36 hours in New York was a very quick turnaround. Flew back to Vancouver and now down in Las Vegas. Got to give a shout out to Mr. F3. Met with him, talking all things Power Slap. We're going to be bringing it you guys next level coverage, catching up with my man F3. What's up? What's good? So things laughing because it's an inside joke for now, but F3 has joined our team. We're excited to see him keep making our stuff better and better. And I mean, guess what? We're in the middle road to the title, and we get that massive announcement this past weekend as part of the UFC broadcast. The Crazy Hawaiian versus Dumpling, the headline match for Power Slap number 9, October 24th in Abu Dhabi. I mean, man, the excitement is there. We look at the engagement, the numbers from the post that we put out to our reaction video and on social for this match. And I mean, dude, this is going to be legendary stuff.
Yeah, man, look, Power Slap does it again. We end our show last week. Everything's fine. It's normal. We're just waiting for some news. And then, boom, the world's turned on its head again. Now we come back with another episode here to break it down. But we do have a special guest. We're not going to be breaking it down alone. Obviously, you know, one of the top ranked number 3 middleweight right now. Isaih Pretty Boy Quinones is joining us. What's up, brother?
Number 2, dog.
Oh, you're number 2.
Number 2.
I don't know why I said number 3. That's my bad.
Burger King. Burger King is number 3. Brandon the Butcher, Burger King.
There you go. Number 2. Excuse me. I apologize. How are you, though, man? Look, joining us from the Cybertruck as per usual.
Always. You guys catch me at work, but hey, I always got to make time for Slap News, you know?
Well, what's up with the outfit? You don't look like much like that's not like a work outfit, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I sit at desk, I make freaking airplane drawings, and we're good, dog. I get to look fly at work, too. My name's the Pretty Boy for a reason. I don't look just pretty during my fights. I look pretty at work, too.
There you go, man. So I guess right off the top, what are your initial reactions to what we got this past Saturday? Obviously, Abu Dhabi, October 24th, the Crazy Hawaiian versus Dumpling as the headliner.
You know what? I'm super, super pumped. Like, this has been fucking amazing, honestly. I remember, like I said, day 1, that's when I met the Crazy Hawaiian, and we started with, you know, the Russian Slap League, and both of us were there. Even in my interview, I was like, hey, I'll take the Dumpling, but you know, that was before it was all regulated. But I remember since day 1 and talking to him, his goal was to eventually face Dumpling. And to see it finally happen, it's amazing. So I'm definitely excited. Those are 2 very heavy hitters, and they could both take hits, and it's going to be a great fight.
Yeah, one of the things that's kind of been made something of over the last couple of days is that people don't necessarily understand the magnitude of this fight and how important it is for this sport. Can you talk a little bit about that, being a guy that's been around, like you just talked about, in another league, kind of knowing about the Dumpling before all of this, before Power Slap was a thing, and even the Crazy Hawaiian? How big is this for the sport of slap fighting across the board?
I mean, this is huge. You got, you know, an up-and-coming guy who's a Crazy Hawaiian. I mean, not up-and-coming, but, I mean, compared to Dumpling, you know, who started overseas and, like, been in it for a while, you have the Crazy Hawaiian who is, you know, he's making a name for himself. He's leading the road for all of us, you know, and he's our top dude out here, you know. He's our top dude in America. Everybody knows him. I mean, he's, like I said, he's made a name for himself. And for Dumpling, who's an international superstar who, you know, been viral I don't know how many times. I mean, for both of them, it's going to bring a new audience to Power Slap, and to be in Abu Dhabi too, like, that's going to be insane. People are going to go crazy.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of jumped into my next question, but you know, obviously we've all been waiting for the day that the event was outside of Nevada. Now we find out not only is it outside of Nevada, but it's also outside of the United States. This is such a moment. I mean, what do you expect from the rest of this card when you have such a big fight at the top? It leaves so much opportunity for you to just fill this thing in with bangers on top of bangers. What's your expectation? Do you think this being the card that, comes off the heels of season 3, do you think we see a lot of season 3 talent? Do you expect that because it's overseas, we'll see a lot of the OGs kind of get brought back into the mix? Maybe some guys who are at the top of their divisions. What do you expect to see really when this card shakes out?
I mean, you're like you said it. There's already one, match that's going to be a heavy hitting match. I mean, it's Abu Dhabi. We already know it's crazy out there. That means they got to stack this card up, and it's going to be a crazy stack up on this card. I already know. Like, and Erica, all those guys over there, they all know what they're doing. And the reason why Power Slap is growing so much is because they're setting it up correctly. So I already have faith in, the matches they got coming.
Yeah, and then last one for me before I turn it over to Corey. I would say from my own personal observation, it seems like a lot of the comments that used to be very largely negative, that's kind of switched. I think if you go on the Dumpling versus Hawaiian announcement on YouTube, you go through the comments on Instagram, I think a lot of the comments are actually largely positive about the reception to this fight. People who are engaged in the sport, picking their winners. What do you number one, do you kind of agree with that? Do you see that in your own personal observations? And then what do you attribute that change to? What do you think is kind of getting it to sit well with more fans?
Honestly, we're not going anywhere. We're not moving. Like, Power Slap isn't going to stop. Like, nobody's been seriously, knock on wood, seriously injured. I mean, that's what everybody's negative comment was about, mostly was like, oh, hey, long-term this and that, blah, blah, blah. But it's like nobody, out of all the matches, nobody's been seriously injured where, we have life-threatening, injuries or anything. So, I people just get tired. When we start ignoring all the trash talk and all that, people just eventually just get tired of trolling. And that's what I think is happening now. And especially with big events going on like this now that they see it's not just in Vegas, it's not just a, dog and pony show. This is going somewhere big and international. There's nothing they can say.
Core?
Absolutely. Isaiah, obviously the Crazy Hawaiian and Dumpling, you talked about it, you participated. You've known both these guys as long as the sport has been around. People forget some of the very early stuff. I don't know if I've even seen some of your early matches. I'm sure it's somewhere deep in the ether of YouTube. But knowing both of these guys for so long, can you preview what we think we'll see here with the rule set in Power Slap 5 rounds?
Man, this one's going to be amazing because I know both of them can take hits. I've seen it personally. So this is gonna not just be a one hit, knockout match on either side. This is gonna be them going all out, them trying to prove and show who the big dog is. And I love both of them, but I think my boy Crazy Hawaiian's gonna take it, man. I'm sorry.
Awesome.
I'm sorry. Everybody's gonna be upset, but my boy Crazy Hawaiian, I think he's taking it, man. He's gonna be the new international, slap champion, man. At least in the super heavyweight until the other guys come up.
Yeah, we did a poll, and you're not alone in that, man. The results were they favored the Hawaiian quite a bit, about 60-40. So.
Yeah, but don't get me wrong though. Like I said, Dumpling has a strong chin, so I don't know. I have no clue, man. He's a strong ass dude.
Yeah, I think Dumpling's never been knocked out. I do believe Michael could possibly look that up for me as we kind of talk here. But
he has not.
You share something with the Crazy Hawaiian. You decided to meet up with Larry Wheels and take one of the shots. I got to say, you didn't flinch like our boy the Crazy Hawaiian did. So what's that about? How did it feel?
You guys know me. I'm built different. It's weird. People always want to talk trash, especially in, the middleweight class. They're like, oh, I'm going to knock you out. I'm going to knock you down, this and that. To this day, like I said, Russell's the hardest person that I ever went against and hit me the hardest. And that motherfucker's strong. And he still didn't knock me out. He knocked me down. And he fucking rocked my shit. But it's going to take a lot to knock me out. But my head didn't move. Even Larry Wheels was like, hey, bro, what the fuck? You're crazy. Your head doesn't even move. He said the same thing. He's like, your head's like a bowling ball. That hurt my hand. So, yeah, it was cool, man. It was a fun experience.
Yeah, so that's the second time we see him, playing around with you guys. Did you get to talk to him kind of off camera? Like, is it something that he could ever do? Like, does he have an aspiration to do it, or
I
is it
told
just
him,
for the likes?
I told him, I was like, hey man, you're big, you're strong. Like that was a good hit. I mean, you saw his technique, but I told him, I was like, if you work on your technique, I was like, you could probably do some damage. I was like, but I mean, you know him, he probably doesn't want to do it. So yeah, we talked a little bit. He's a cool dude.
Awesome, man. Great to hear, dude. I'm not sure if you heard it or not, but one Ryan Wallace on a podcast that we won't name said that he believes you'll be the next world champion. What do you want to say to that?
No, I appreciate that. It means a lot coming from my opponents. I even had a little talk with Wesley Drain afterwards, and he said the same thing. So, I mean, I'm just going to agree with all of them. I mean, I'm going to make it happen. I will be, I don't know when, but I will be the middleweight champion, and I will hold it. I will defend it. And more than likely, I'm going to have to retire with the belt because I don't think anybody would ever take it from me once I get it.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen your evolution dropping down to middles as treated you well so far. You feel like you're ready? That's the next step. John Davis is in your crosshairs.
Oh, I hope so. I mean, John Davis is for sure in my crosshairs. I mean, I obviously want the title shot. Like we said, I've been in it for a while. I mean, and coming back into it right away and having 2 back-to-back matches with, great knockouts. I mean, I think I deserve it.
Awesome, man. What do you think of Road to the Title Season 3? I'm sure you've probably watched some of the episodes. What do you think of these new cats coming in? Let's get your honest opinion.
Oh, my honest opinion, before they get to the stage with us, they need to work on their strikes. 100%. One, they're going to injure somebody, but yeah, they need to work on their strikes. Some of these strikes are just looking so horrible. And I mean, even taking them. Some of these guys that are taking them, flinching even on the windup. Come on, man. Like, you can't be flinching on the windup. You know what you signed up for. You know you're going to take a hit. Take the hit, even if it's an L. Just eat it, bro. Just go for it. Like, they got to work on it a little bit. A lot of the guys have potential, though. Don't get me wrong.
I mean, a lot of the round one matches from season 1 and season 2. We've obviously seen some of this stuff happen. So obviously it's it's not uncharted territories, and I'm sure it will get cleaned up as it kind of goes along. Correct me if I'm wrong, but you were not part of the season 1, correct? You didn't go into the house.
I didn't go into the house. Nikolai, that's the reason why I bring up the clubbing stuff, right? So I was in Power Slap season 1, and we went to the qualifiers. Nikolai, who ended up quitting in the house, he hit me, but of course he clubbed me. You can see in the replay, and he stepped into it. But I mean, same thing. I got knocked down. I was a little wobbly. I think I was fine recovering, and like you could see the progress throughout, all the calls and stuff throughout the seasons and growing and all the matches. Like, I feel like we get a little more time now on recovery and stuff like that. And Mark Smith, I think, called it a little too early. I was still fine. But again, like I said, that was just a fluke. Dude clubbed me. I was sick that whole week. I didn't want to, tell anybody I was sick because obviously it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to be on the TV show with Dana White and all them. So I was like, fuck it, I'm just going to do it. But, yeah, that was a fluke. But that's why Frank kept me around,
Mm-hmm. From the 155 tournament, we've seen all the round 1 matches. Anybody you think there can go toe-to-toe with one Robert Trujillo?
Nope. My dog Robert is an animal. He will forever be my favorite. Whenever we all go to the Hall of Fame for Power Slap one day, he should be the first one with the Crazy Hawaiian going into that thing.
If Robert was an actual dog, what type of dog would he be?
Ooh. This is a tough one. Like, you want to say, like, I don't want to be disrespectful, but he's like one of those miniature Dobermans.
Okay.
Miniature Doberman. I love you, Robert, but yeah, hey, my boy, he's small size, but he packs a punch.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Kind of going into the fall here, we're expecting we're gonna get some get some excitement with the title matches coming. It's always good, like you said, Abu Dhabi gonna be big. You're gonna go over the top. How many title matches do you think we're gonna have? And if Erica calls, are you willing, able, and ready to go?
Absolutely. All my work anytime I want. I'm ready to go. I have my passport. I have everything. I'm always training. Never stop training. I mean, my weight's always good. So, I mean, I'm always ready. So if that happens, that'd be awesome.
Last one for you. What does Slap News got to do to get one of those PJs off your hanger that you're hanging in to go to Abu Dhabi in?
I'm sorry, what was that?
I said, what does Slap News got to do to get one of those PJs in your hanger to head to Abu Dhabi?
Oh, man. I'll find out. We'll see. I'll ask him if I could go too.
All right, cool. Awesome, man. Appreciate you, dude.
Well, thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
We'll talk to you soon, brother. Thanks so much for joining.
Of course.
All right, moving right along, man.
Going,
we got more promises that we had, obviously, on our graphic and some of the stuff we advertised. So without further ado, we're going to bring this guy in because I actually have a bone to pick. Mr. Brian Ellis.
What's up?
The casino man himself. We're going to clear all this up right now. So you may not have seen it, Mr. Ellis, but Corey was saying that I was giving you hot tours.
Yeah, I saw it. He said it to me.
Can you confirm if that is true or false? So we just for his journalistic credibility this way, if you could confirm that that's true or false, please. And keep in mind that we are a team, and so not one is more powerful than the
other. All right. Oh, you mean about the casino secrets?
Yeah.
So I mean,
casino secrets.
You know what? Everybody always asks for the secrets to the winning in slot machines, and I don't really know what they are. I just have strategies, and sometimes they work, sometimes they don't, but more times they work than not for me. That's all I can really say about it.
So didn't I answer my question? All right, cool.
Are we talking Little Nas X? Or are we talking to Brian Ellis?
Oh no, this is me. You see, I had to wear this today, man. My boy made the custom hat for me for Power Slap. So I had to put it on for him. Shout out to Texas and LA. That's his brand. So I gotta represent one time.
Awesome, man.
One of my old college teammates, actually.
Very cool. Did you get your Leaf trading card signatures in yet?
Not yet, man. I just got back. I've been busy, man. I got them though. I did get them. So
awesome. What does it mean to you to be involved in that and be part of the set and have your own cards?
I didn't hear you. Let me hear you. My bad. One more time.
I said, what does it mean to you to be getting a trading card?
Oh, that's crazy. That's amazing. That's something I wanted since I was a little kid. I never knew this was the thing that was gonna have me doing it. But yeah, that's crazy. That's amazing. It's a great situation to be in. It's like my kids are gonna love it. They waiting on it too. I told them about it when the package came. But yeah, man, it's pretty cool.
Very cool, man. I know you're busy, obviously producing music with the kids. You still training for Power Slap? What do you want next? Are you ready to go?
Of course, man. I'm ready whenever.
Awesome.
I'm heavyweight or super heavy, man. I don't care.
Anybody in your crosshairs right now that you're kind of eyeing up?
Man, anybody ranked above me? Really, that's what it is, man. That's where the targets are for me. I got to move up that chart and get that shot.
Awesome, man. Have you been watching the show at all? Road to the Title season 3?
Yeah, I've been watching a little bit on and on. I've seen the highlights. I went on live for that first episode with a couple guys. But man, I've been these past few weeks, I've been pretty crazy for me. Been pretty busy back and forth between with Dallas and Houston. I've been to LA. I've been out to San Bernardino for a few days. I've been in Oklahoma. Like, yeah, I'm just now, I had to have my kids for a while. I've had my kids for like a month and a half. It's like probably been in the past 2 weeks, first 2 weeks. I haven't had them every single day in a while. So I've been handling some business, man. I'm finally getting some more free time. They're about to start school too. So, just back to work for me. It was my little vacation with the kids too.
Nice. You'll have to tune in tomorrow. I believe the heavyweights are going to make their appearance now.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'll be watching that.
So yeah, you definitely have to check that out. I'm in Vegas right now. You have any secrets for me you want to share on the slot machines? Anyone that's been good to you recently?
Are you in Vegas now? What hotel?
Don't tell him nothing, bro. Don't tell him nothing.
What hotel you at, man?
Don't tell him a thing.
I would always say go to my little corner over there in Resorts World, over in the High Limit.
Hey, you need
hit
to go
those
to
machines.
The
They always pretty good to me over there.
To the news and type in Resorts World if you want to know what they're doing.
No, what happened? Something went down. Oh,
just look it up, bro. I ain't gonna say it. Just look it up.
Oh shit. All right, I have to check that out when we get off of here.
All right, Ding. Your turn for the man.
You got it. All right, Brian. So the one match that I would assume you care about so far in the show, particularly, is the heavyweight match between Blake Howard and Mark Chambers. Did you see that fight?
No, I haven't seen.
That's the guy with the dentures.
No, I haven't seen that.
You haven't seen that fight?
No, I didn't see that one yet.
Let's see if I can make some magic happen and get it up for you. You can react to it with us.
Okay.
But besides that, I mean, what do you think makes the most sense for you next? Obviously, we just had the Abu Dhabi announcement. Would you like to be on that card? And if you are able to get on that card, who would you want to fight?
So, hey, if they can put me on there, that'd be amazing, man. I'll take, like I said, anybody above me. Anybody ranked above me, man. Give me anyone. I don't care.
And then what were your thoughts when that announcement came out? Kind of like your initial thoughts. What did you think?
Man, I think it's amazing. I think to watch it expanding like this, watch Power Slap expanding, getting to go in other countries now. Also with the approval of Texas, man, I just think it's great for the organization, everybody involved in it, that we're getting more exposure, more audience. You know what I mean? It's just it's going to benefit all of us. Even if we're not on the card, it's still opening up doors for us in the future as well, as long as we stay ready.
Yeah, 100%. And obviously, the main event and the headliner in that card is pretty crazy. The Dumpling versus the Crazy Hawaiian.
That's gonna be a good one. That's gonna be a good one right there.
Do you favor anybody over the other, and why?
Man, I got to go with Crazy Hawaiian because I know him. I don't know Dumpling like that. I mean, I had maybe a 5-second conversation with him, and it's kind of a language barrier there. Good guy though, good energy, but man, I know Crazy Hawaiian. That's my dog, so I got to ride with him with this one.
All right, I was able to make some magic happen and pull this fight up. So let's pull this up. Just confirm for me if you can see this.
Yeah, I can see it. I can't hear anything though.
I won't be able to get you any audio because of the copyright. Okay,
cool.
Well, you'll see here. So you have 265 versus 228.
228.
Yeah, exactly. So what would you say to a guy who comes in light like that in the heavyweight division?
All right, man, he better have some dog in him.
Well, let's see. Let's check out his first slap here.
Okay. That's the 228 buddy that dropped him?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. He got a little swing on him.
Yeah, so I'll spoil a little bit. So after this fight, Turpin basically said this guy should be making pizzas somewhere. He wasn't too fond of him after this all happened.
Oh, the guy that got knocked out?
Yeah, well, yeah. I don't want to tell you what happens in the long run, but I'll just say Turpin wasn't satisfied with this guy. So he tries to give him a little pep talk here, get him back up there. And like I said, this guy, Blake Howard, his top row of teeth is full dentures. He had an incident when he was younger. And he is wearing them up there, I can confirm.
Oh, no. What kind of slap was that? That's a little flashback for me. That's back when Dorian hit me with a few of those.
Yeah, so he gets called for clubbing on that one. Here, we'll skip ahead here.
You had Austin coach you at the Durango, right, Brian?
Yeah.
What did you think of Austin as a coach?
Man, he brought the energy, man. He's great at keeping the energy level up. I say that. But as far as he's cool too, a good guy. But as far as coaching wise, man, Manny's my guy for that.
What's that? What would you say the differences are?
I would say more of also because I spent more time with Manny, so we kind of got to know each other a little bit better. So Manny knew kind of like how to get through to me and stuff, and we kind of connected better. But man, he's cool though. He had me hyped. He had me amped, had me ready to go.
All right, so let's watch this second one. He was the same way during the season, it seemed like. So he goes another right on one.
Damn. And this is the heavier guy that's getting dropped like this, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Oh man, nah. That doesn't look good for heavyweight.
So if you were Blake Howard at 228, would you stay at heavyweight or go down?
Man, I would go down. If I'm already that low, I would go down to the weight class right under. But hey, if he wants to stay up there, if he's got what it takes, you know what I mean? It's gonna be a long road for him.
Yeah, so a guy that has no real experience in this sport, he goes right on one, both strikes. What did you think of his placement, how he delivered his strikes, his power?
I wasn't really too looking at the placement like that. I can't lie to you; it was so small on my screen. I'm on my phone right now, but I mean, his power is there. But then also the dude he's going against got folded like that. I mean, he obviously has no chin, so you're gonna see whoever gets his next heavyweight fight. If he gets a true heavyweight, that's what it's gonna depend on. Man, you can't judge off of that guy he just went against.
There it is. So you believe that he just kind of made him look better?
Yeah,
that's fair. Would you face a guy like that?
honestly, if it was me trying to back where I was getting on the show, and not getting as far as I am now, hell yeah. But like right now, no, I would not have to see him go against somebody else. Like, and no disrespect to him, it's just I can fight at super heavy and I fought at super heavy. And to go against a guy that light, man, I don't know. I don't think it would be fair, honestly.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess on that similar subject, would you say that if you were given the opportunity to go on the show again, for whatever reason, would you take it?
Hell yeah. Hell yeah, that'd be fun as hell. I would want to go on as a coach though. But yeah. I loved it.
What if they're like, no, we want you to compete again? What would you say?
Compete again on the show? Hey, it depends where it is.
Oh, so you'll do it like if it's in your backyard?
Well, not in my backyard. It's got to be somewhere nice, man. I'll take a little, a TV vacation to go knock a few more people out for sure.
Talk to us about the heavyweight division right now. Kind of where do you see at the top? I mean, the top five is, seemingly fought themselves a lot right now. Dang, if you can pull up the rankings real quick. But what do you kind of think of the health of the division overall? I know season 2 they tried to get some heavies in there. What do you think of the guys that are there in the top, and just kind of what matches do you think make sense kind of going forward here?
Man, let's see.
Can you read out, Ding? It's a little small.
Yeah, that's small. Right,
so you got Phillips at number 1, Bernard at number 2, Dorian at number 3, Brian at number 4, Cooper House at number 5.
Okay, man. I already beat Dorian, which he's still ranked above me, which I understand. He's got more experience, more fights. But man, I want Ryan. Shit, give me Ryan, give me Damien, give me Nate. I don't care, either one of those three. Because I haven't had them yet, and I'm pretty sure they've all gone against each other already.
Let me ask you, who's a better match for you, Ryan Phillips or Nate Bernard?
Man, either one. I'm fully confident in myself. Nothing against those guys because they've earned their shit too. Those are people I was watching when I was learning my stuff, learning how to get where I'm at. But I don't know. I want to see whoever whoever my biggest, whoever people want to see me go against, I would say that. If somebody out there thinks that there's somebody that can knock me out, that's who I want, so I can prove myself against that person.
Gotcha. Do you think there's anyone deserving right now of a shot against the bell, or do you think some matches have to play out to kind of really get a number one contender?
Man, I think Ryan's there. He's number one. So, and then I think next it should be either I would say me or Nate. No shade against Dorian, but shit, I got the head-to-head on that one. So, of course, I think he deserves a shot too. But man, I don't know, man. I want that shot if it's there for me, for real. That's what I'm waiting on.
Okay.
I want the belt.
All right, so you think Phillips potentially a rematch and/or a match between you and one of either Nate or Ryan as kind of a number one contender to go up against the bell?
Yeah, for sure.
Awesome, man. I mean, I know the summer is finishing up. The season's going to roll on here. But if you get that call to go to Abu Dhabi, your passport ready? You got your bags packed?
Oh yeah. Of course, man. I'm ready.
Awesome. Ding. Anything else for Brian?
Yeah, my final question for Mr. Ellis, not related to any gambling. If for whatever reason somebody comes off the show, they look good, would you take a fight against a guy off the show with no necessarily guarantees, but when you stick your neck out and kind of take somebody with a lot of risk where they might not be ranked and things like that, sometimes it pays off. So some athletes believe that it's in their best interest. What would your thoughts be on that?
I mean, it would really just have to depend on, who it is and what the situation is. I couldn't for sure say yeah, but at the same time, I wouldn't turn down a fight. I'm not the kind that's going to be like, I'm not scared of anybody. So I wouldn't turn the fight down if that was the only fight I can get. I just feel like there's better fights that would make more sense for me.
Awesome, man. Well, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it. We look forward to seeing when you compete again. It's always a show. And we'll talk soon, man.
Man, I appreciate y'all. Thanks for having me on.
All right, Brian.
Take care,
my man. There we go. Brian Ellis. Great to catch up with him. It's been a little while since we've seen him, in action. So hopefully we get to see him real soon. It'll be a great addition to that, that Abu Dhabi card. Let's talk about the heavyweight match and kind of, I alluded to it earlier. The bell right now seemingly still holding down that position. I think a number one contender match on number 9 would set up very, very well for Damien DeBell, potentially at number 10. I'm sure they're trying to get as many titles on number 9 as possible, but I think it makes logical sense that we kind of get a number 1 match. And, Nate Bernard, Brian Ellis, Ryan Phillips, I think is great. Obviously, Brian and Nate, kind of have, bigger, just physically built very, very similar. But, we've seen Ryan go up against a guy like Nate and be able to get it done. Actually, I actually think Ryan and Ellis could actually be a really great fight.
Ryan versus Brian.
Ryan versus Brian. Yeah, absolutely.
Let's run through some questions here, man. We're running behind on questions.
Are we okay? Go on, man.
Do you think there will be 3 championship matches in Abu Dhabi? Yeah. I think we know super heavyweight. I think you could see. I don't think you could see heavyweight because I don't see who would fight. I think light heavy's one where you could see something. Middle's one where you could see something. And I think welter's one where you could see something. So I think there's 3 more opportunities for a title fight, and potentially the capstone of the lightweight tournament. We don't know if that's going to be the case, but so you have 4 potential title matches up for grabs at Abu Dhabi. I would think. What would you say, Cor?
I'm gonna play the antagonist in this one. I actually don't think you get 3, to be honest with you. I think we get less than that. And the reason why I say that is I just don't know where it actually makes sense. We talk about heavyweight, doesn't really seem to be light heavyweight. We've seen haven't seen Wolverine now for at the last event. I'm not sure. I think you see him sit at 1 more, to be quite honest with you. The way that he got sat down by Austin, I think a little bit of extra time off will help him. Talking to Wolverine, not saying that he's, even from when he was on with us, just seems like a little bit more time. I'm not sure exactly that his head's in the right place in this moment. So it maybe seems just like a little bit more time for him. Middleweight, I think, makes a lot of sense. We've talked a lot about the middleweight being a lot more interesting. So I think we can see something take place there. And then welterweight, with Anthony Blackburn, I don't see that going overseas at this point. I don't see there being a contender, ready other than Emmanuel Muniz. There's nobody on the international scale that I think could align like Dumpling to Crazy Hawaiian. And so, from that perspective, I think we see two title matches on it. I think we see potentially middleweight. Anthony Blackburn, I think, is ready to go. So maybe, but if I had to put money on it, I think we see two, to be quite frank with you.
Awesome. Let's see. Trujillo versus Gunther. So I guess they think Isaac wins the lightweight tournament. I don't have an opinion on that one way or the other. I mean, it's tough to say. There's a lot. We only see round one, so I don't know.
So you think Gunther wins the tournament?
Yeah, that's what – he said Trujillo versus Gunther, so I'm assuming that he thinks that that Gunther comes out at the tippy top of it. The other question is, do they do it? How – because you had 5 winners in the first fights. So now you have 2 fights plus an odd man out. There's still a lot of work to happen in that tournament. We're now on episode 5. I don't know, man. I don't even know if that thing gets done.
Yeah. I'm not sure. I see Isaac in person. I'm not sure he gets out of the tournament, to be quite honest. We'll have to see. I think guys like DeFrank and Boisvert, I think, are 2 tough competitors. So we'll see. We'll see how that kind of all unfolds. I know obviously he's got some, Gold Glove boxing background. We'll see how really it unfolds. But I think Trio is still a cut above everybody else. I think we still want to see that progression from what we've seen in these first matches. I think everyone can admit that it's not dogging on any of them, but I just think we need to see that progression continue because we know Robert Trujillo has been a dog the entire time. So really want to see these guys progress in the sport to be able to do that for sure.
Yeah, Zels versus Crespo. I do not think we ever see Zels in Power Slap. I've said that before. I think a lot of people have said that before. There's some questions about, performance-enhancing drugs, the rule set. I personally don't think we ever see it. That's just my opinion.
Yeah. It's coming from the man himself, the Iron Giant. I'm sure he'd welcome that. If you've been following along on his stories, he had some interesting words and breakdown analysis of what he thought about Dumpling and the Crazy Hawaiian in the super heavyweight division. So we'll see. I don't know. I think there's some interesting matchups within Power Slap for Dwayne, to be quite honest with you. I think Danny Van Heerden can make a great matchup for him and kind of going forward here. So I'd love to see the Iron Giant and Danny go at it. I think Danny, personality-wise, can bring a lot out of Dwayne Crespo, and I think the two can play off each other. I think stylistically it could be good, and I can see that match going all 3 rounds to be a real exciting match. So love to see that. Even McKinney Manu, I think it could be a great match there for Dwayne also.
McKinney's the slept on man. Hey, I feel so bad for the guy. I just think that he's slept on. I do. I believe that he's deserving of more than what he's getting so far.
But why is that? What do you think it is? California kid, Hawaiian. I don't know.
Probably. I don't know. It seemed like they liked him on the show. The Haka, it seemed like he was a nice enough personality. I think the Danny thing really kind of threw everything into a bit of a whirlwind, and then he started being real negative about it, and you just never want to see that. My personal opinion on this is always don't fight the promotion. You got to figure out how to channel all that energy and make it into something that works for you. I'll always take it back to a guy like Colby Covington. People hate him. He says a lot of shit that's crazy, but he revived his career, and he's only in the positions that he's in. 3 title fights, all losses, but he kept getting them, and people want to see him because they want to see him lose because he's this bad guy. Again, he says shit that's crosses a line, but he didn't. He took the energy he was getting from the promotion, and he turned it into something that made him into this character that everybody wants to see.
Yeah. Do we have a Colby Covington of Power Slap, you think, right now?
No, not that far. Not that far. He says some wild shit. He talks about people's dead parents and no. no way, not yet. But I think we will. I think you're starting to see the negativity. We've talked about it before, like a Jimmy Jumps kind of where they're going a little crazy on social. But I don't think it's getting that bad, especially when it comes to the opponents. I think, again, channel that energy. Don't fight the promotion. Figure out how to make yourself relevant. You're a brand at the end of the day. And, you don't get any crazy like social training or how to be in front of a camera. So you kind of just have to get creative. But I'll tell you what's not going to work is trying to strong arm a billion-dollar company or a multi-million-dollar company, depending on, whether you're talking about the UFC or what. But moving on, the refs have too much power in power slap. I completely disagree with this. I mean, I just think the refs do what they do in any sport. It's their job is to protect the athlete. Although that might not be the popular decision because you're the person that's getting stopped, early or whatever it is. Ultimately, their goal is to make sure you don't sustain unnecessary damage, and that's their job. So I actually don't agree with this. I could understand if it happens to you, though, why you would feel that way. But again, their job is to make sure that you're safe, just like your corner's job is to make sure you're safe. Your coach could call the fight off anytime if they want to. We've seen some instances where maybe that should have happened and it didn't. So ultimately, I think the refs have the appropriate amount of power in power slap.
Let's talk about what you just said, because I think it's quite interesting because the refs, like you said, obviously are there to protect the fighters. And we know a lot of these fighters, they forget from the first time that they're slapped. They don't remember anything until they get back to their hotel room. So we are seeing, guys that don't fully comprehend the magnitude of the situation that's going on. And the interesting part is that the cornering is assigned by the brass of power slap. Do you think there's going to be a time and a day and a place where we get the individual coaching? The athletes will be able to pick who they want to corner them, to be able to support them. Because, at this point, it could be seen potentially as, I don't say a conflict, but there could be some, if we actually see a coach call a fight off, we could see some blowback potentially as to whether or not if the striker didn't have that ability to be able to select their corner. I mean, we haven't seen it yet, but if it comes a time and a day, how bad do you think that blowback will be?
You're saying when a coach stops a fight?
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it depends on the circumstance. Man, I'm trying to remember who it was. Was it Hayden? It was Hayden. Hayden, it was a weird TKO. Like he went up there, was still rocked, and then he started like doing the kind of wobbly dance while he was getting ready to slap. Do you remember that? Or am I maybe I'm thinking of the wrong person. Hayden's the sumo slapper. Maybe I'm thinking of the wrong match, but I remember specifically Hayden was a guy that went back to his corner and looked like his soul was somewhere else. Mm-hmm. And then he gets back up there, slaps. It's got like zero power on it. And that's not a knock on the guy. I really just think his head was not there. That would be a perfect time to say, hey, ref, like he can't go back up there. Because he's going to go up there for no reason. He's going to go up there, he's going to slap the guy, then he's going to get slapped, and he's already done. He's already out of it. Like, don't let him go back up there.
Totally.
But I don't know that I'm being honest here. I don't know that power is given to these coaches yet. That's a UFC thing. That's an MMA thing where your corner can stop it. Who knows if that's allowed in power slap? We'll actually probably have to ask for some clarification on that because it's an interesting question for sure. But moving on, me versus Ding Dong for the belt. If it's the YouTube video belt or Instagram story belt, then I got you, DTP. But if it's anything related to combat, I ain't doing it. Not with you.
Maybe the heart attack grill belt.
Yeah, there you go. Good to see DTP in the chat. I don't know what this means. Should be a 3 knockdown count. Do you understand this?
Does it mean that like getting knocked down 3 times? So 3, I don't know. Is that what he's saying?
I'm not sure. Devin, if you could clarify that for us, brother. I know we're answering these questions 20 minutes after they've been asked. I apologize, but we want to make sure we get to them.
Good.
See what else we got here. That's pretty cool. He said it again. He really
and he changed his hand.
No, he went from Facebook to YouTube.
Okay. Too funny.
Crespo and Perez was a top 5 match ever in power slap. It was a great match. Top 5. I'd have to go back to the drawing board. I probably don't know if it. I don't think it would make my top 5, but it was a great fight. Corey, what do you think?
Yeah, no, awesome fight for sure. Yeah, I mean, you put on the spot for sure to definitely think of the top 5. I mean, man, there's been so many great matches, dude.
Yeah, there's been wars like that, but it was a war, absolutely. And DTP is the guy, man, that'll bring them. Just on both ends. Of course, Dwayne is no slouch by any means, but I think you need those. It's all about dance partners. I think those guys are good dance partners. But DTP particularly, just the amount of damage the guy can take, and his like, hit me, motherfucker, that type of thing. Or when he dropped James Stonier, and he just the emotion and the animation, it was incredible to watch. So DTP is definitely a guy he hasn't fought this year at all.
I was gonna say, what do you think we see of DTP next? Do we see him back?
I want to see him and his friend Ryan Phillips. We've been talking about this. I want to see Barefisted Podcast, the implosion. I want to see these two guys go at it. DTP versus Ryan Phillips at Power Slap number 9, hopefully. Best light heavyweight match ever coming tomorrow from who looks like Luke Simons, and little teaser there. Let's hope he delivers on that promise. Perez versus DeBell would be a great match. Yes. We've talked about it. DeBell is that's another point, but DeBell is just levels above right now. I need DTP to come back and see what he's working with, his improvements, what new tools he's got, what his power looks like before I'm comfortable saying that. But of course, just as a personality, I'd love to see DTP, get up there for a championship. But I really, and I think Corey echoes this, the championship fights off of a loss is not really a good look. I don't think it does a whole lot for the sport. But it looks like he's okay with fighting Dwayne again. Dwayne, of course, is a super heavyweight, so we probably will not see that fight. But it was a great fight nonetheless. Oh, I asked this question, and I actually didn't read this, so that's cool. Well, thanks for dropping the question, Raiden. We appreciate it. We know Raiden's on the show. We haven't seen him yet, but we're looking forward to it. Let's see. Our boy, I always mess up his name, Feoplich. Sorry, brother, if I messed that up again. Still trudging along, with intentions to go to Power Slap. So we appreciate you, of course, and your support. And if you are ever in Power Slap, dude, we'll be watching. Mm-hmm. Blake does hit hard. He went ham on the punching machine. Luke Simons, a guy who was in the house with him. Yeah, and then another one, Blake hits hardest. So these guys know Blake's a hard hitter. Awesome. I still believe he should probably go down to light heavy. What are your thoughts on that, Cor?
Yeah, no, for sure. I think he has to go. And obviously when we had him on the final slap, he spoke about that, kind of dropping down, definitely. So I know he's got a lot going on right now. We talked about during the show, but I think light heavy makes a lot of sense for a lot of these guys. I've been critical of that because I think, the best of the best. And when you're in the professional league, you need to really come in dialed in like true professional athletes do.
Yeah, another one that we're like on pulse with chat right now. DTP versus Ryan Phillips. Couldn't agree more. I feel bigger than Blake, even though he weighs more than me.
I'm going to bring it up, my man. I mean, Chin Reaper supports our show like always. September 7th, it's going down. SFC.
Did I miss Chin that Reaper. Somewhere?
No, I'm just giving my boy some love.
Oh, okay.
Chin Reaper, like we said, you know what? He's been around. I
did miss it though.
Putting his jaw on the line. So, great to see that. Guy talks probably some of the most shit in the business, and he's stepping up and making it happen. So you got to give him some respect. So I'll be watching, my man.
September 7th. Let's see what we got.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be great. You know what? It's great. I think it's a smart move. You know what? If you're not getting a shot in Power Slap right now, go over to Slap Fight Championship, get an amazing knockout, prove why you deserve to be there, and then go where you wish after that. I think sitting idle, doesn't necessarily get you a lot, and so being active, being busy can only help your cause if you're able to perform and prove that you deserve to be there. So,
not 100% sure what kind of hunger he's talking about, but I agree. I think he's ready, and I think whoever he plugged for those hats, It's probably if that person should probably sell those hats because that was sick.
What do you mean? I'm not
The
sure.
hat that he had, the whatever, I don't know what you would call it, cowboy hat or what, but what Brian Ellis was wearing.
Oh, Brian Ellis. You got to chuckle when I called him Little Nas X. What was going on, Dan? Usually when I say stuff like that,
Little Nas X is gay, bro. I was like, which one are you going for? The hat? Or like, are you trying to tell us something? You basically just asked the guy, hey, are you gay? Like, uh-oh, did we lose you? Oh, no, you're still there.
Appearance-wise. I'm still here, dude. Yeah.
All right, let's see.
The King of Kings.
Yeah.
King of Kings joining us. That's awesome.
Let's see here. DTP with typical energy, me versus everybody, 100%. Bernard versus Ellis will be a great match. I thought there was a lot of buzz about this before with the football guy versus football guy kind of thing. I agree with that. I think it would be a fun fight for sure.
I actually think Texas makes the most sense too, to be honest with you. When they come back, if they're going to venture to another state, I think Texas, obviously Dana kind of talked about it as well as being a spot that they want to go. A couple of big markets there. Obviously, UFC goes to Houston. You've got Dallas. You've got Austin as an emerging city in the sports market. So I think we see them in Texas sooner than later.
That would be a good one, and they're starting to get more talent from there as well.
Yeah, let's see. We've got Debo. We've got Alan Klingbeil. We've got Brian Ellis. Stevie Ray Ellis.
There you go.
Ellis.
Stevie Ray Ellis. Yep.
So, sure, I'm probably forgetting somebody, but at least those cats for sure.
Bernard versus Ellis, or Ellis versus Turpin, or Ellis versus Housley. Ellis versus Turpin, that's crazy. I never even thought about that, but that is crazy. That would be an interesting. I mean, Ellis is a large guy.
No, I think that'd be a bad fight, man. Ellis wouldn't play into him in the trash talking. I think that'd be awful. And yeah, stature wise, I just don't think that'd be a fun fight. I'm out on that one. But Ellis versus Housley could be an interesting fight. That's super. Yeah, I get behind that. I'm not sure it really makes sense in regards to obviously the guys in two different weight classes, two guys kind of, in those spots with where they are in the trajectory. I think Ellis definitely stays. Ellis versus Bernard's, for me, the money fight.
All right, I'm gonna ask a really quick question, and then I'm gonna ask that we speed up a little bit because I think we're getting far behind on the questions. But really glad that you guys are putting them in the chat. We'll keep answering them. Do you think Turpin's next fight is at light heavy or heavy?
Light heavy.
Okay.
No doubt.
Phillips versus Perez and Nate versus Ellis. Completely agree with this. That's incredible. James Sequin going to do some damage. We will see tomorrow. We're going to do a little James Lynch here. Let's do it.
What's James Lynch?
He just like speeds through the questions like a madman. Fight the bell, though. He will have to defeat a top contender. Yep, fair. Give me Bell. I had ninja shoulder back when I fought Ellis. Ellis couldn't hurt me at all. King gets Brian Ellis in 2. Okay, that's a prediction, it sounds like. Shoulder's good now. I'm locked and loaded. Amazing. Can't wait to see DTP back in there.
I actually want to see DTP back doing some car lifting tricks. Can you maybe pick up the back end of your car or something for us? We need to see some vintage DTP.
Go get something to eat, Brian. You look hungry. That's funny. Okay, so now we know what he meant. Well, weird. I hope we go to Miami in December. PS10 need a warm place to fight in the winter. I don't know if that's some inside info or what, but that would be sick.
When is UFC in Miami typically? Like it already happened in the year, didn't it?
Yeah, it's already. Yeah. They're not in Miami. Cody Cox or Logan Greenhall. Big Bird. I'm assuming that means it's supposed to say versus Big Bird in Abu Dhabi. Okay. Robert will get a belt at 9. That's a prediction. We'll see. 155 title, 1-8. Yeah, that's what Chin Reaper says. He'll get a PS9. He'll get a belt. So, and Bordeaux seems to agree. He says 155, 185, and then super heavy. McGregor versus Montoya apparently is going to happen on season 3 based on promos. That's correct. I saw that also. Yeah, we've said it before. We haven't gotten around to it, guys. I'm sorry. Corey's been traveling. We were doing some stuff this weekend. but we will deliver it. We'll go through all the trailers, slow-mo at 0.25, which Corey recommended probably on the first episode of the Final Slap. It tells you a lot about what you can expect to see. And as we start to know these names, you'll be able to see who fights who and stuff like that. And there's some surprising stuff in there for sure if you do. Davis 100% for 9. Okay. Know someone from season 3, but I can't say who. All right. Don't know what that is. Only slaps with his fingertips. As he improves his slap, he'll be better. I don't know who he's talking about. Maybe Isaiah? I don't know. I see that name nearby. Let's see what else we got. Brandon Kerr's Colby Covington on Power Slap. No, I mean, he doesn't say anything off the walls, man. I mean, and Corey, I know you're not really in tune with this part of the sport, but like he made a joke about Leon Edwards was the guy he fought for the championship. His dad was murdered, gang stuff like 20 years ago. And Colby Covington basically said to him at the press conference, I'm going to take you to the 7th layer of hell. And then he goes, we'll say what's up to your dad while we're there. Like, shit like that is just crazy. I mean, the dude's dad got murdered when he was a little kid. Like, it doesn't have to get that deep. Kamaru Usman's dad he was in jail. He's like, you want me to call your dad's parole officer so you can come to the fight to watch me beat your ass? Like, just shit like that.
Yeah, but it's part of that too. Like, we don't get press conferences in Power Slap anymore. So these guys don't have an official platform to speak, in that particular way. I'm not saying it's good or bad for the sport, but I mean, you start saying that stuff on your own social media, it's a different story because a lot of people don't understand in the context of what's being involved. So maybe we're missing a bit of that by not having those press conferences, anymore.
Yeah, we'll have to see. Brandon, if I get bored light heavyweight, I may have to come to fight with you to expose you. So it's Luke Simons.
Honestly, we did have somebody, and it was proven to be too much. Ed Slambo was as close as we got, and that didn't go down well for him. So I'm not even sure where that cast is. You want to talk about the lost one. Ed Slambo was the lost one of Power Slap.
I love Ed. I love me some Slambo, man. I know you do too. Do you think there's favoritism? I think Mano has been left in the dust. I don't. This is a conversation piece that's important. I don't know that you can call it favoritism. I think you have to consider in the grand scheme of things. And again, this goes back to the point about reffing. This is a business. The goal is to use this promotion to grow a business, one particular organization, which is Power Slap. And a lot of the press and the attention that it gets has been negative. And I just talked about earlier, that seems to be turning, not in any hurry, but it definitely seems to be changing. The only way that you do that is you deliver things that the fans want to see. And I understand as an athlete, if you're the person that's getting the short end of the stick, that's tough. That's difficult. It makes you feel like you're not liked or whatever the case is. The point is that it's a business and they have to do what's best for business. And ultimately it propels the sport higher for everybody. So you have to kind of take yourself out of it and that emotional part of it and that ego and really think about what am I not doing that's creating this perception that I'm not a draw or that people aren't excited to see me or whatever the reason might be. I can tell you this, going on your Instagram and saying fuck Power Slap and fuck Dana and fuck whatever is not the way to get a match. Mm-hmm. You have to figure out how to brand yourself and become, a Colby Covington, or if not a Colby Covington, Alex Pereira, or if not Alex Pereira, a Conor McGregor. And I only use those names because they all reach stardom in a different way, right? Alex Pereira does not speak English, but he performs. Colby Covington doesn't necessarily perform, but he's got great. I mean, at this point in time, he's lost the 3 title fights he's had. He lost, but he just has great, skills on the microphone. He has a lot of charisma, a lot of jokes, a lot of puns, and he's not afraid to say things that are controversial. And then Conor McGregor's half and half, right? Today he doesn't perform so well, but at the point that he did, he also had great skills on the mic. And he also has said things that are kind of controversial and crazy, talked about religions and countries and families. So you have to figure out what that looks like for you. But I can guarantee you the blueprint is not to go after the promotion. That's all. That's kind of where I'll leave that. Corey, any thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, it's a private business. They're going to do what's best for business. And I think we don't actually always know the full scope. We don't always see the back end and the inner working of what takes place. And they're going to do what's best for business. At the end of the day, they need to generate a profit for this thing to be sustainable, to be able to grow the sport, to be able to go forward, to open up new markets. Like a lot of these things take massive investments. If you remember, Dana said for season 1 Road to the Title, they made a $10 million investment into it. They need to be able to recoup those costs and things that go involved. And, we don't always get the rationale. We usually never get the rationale. We just get, here's the fights that are taking place. And then we dissect, whether we like it, whether we don't like it, and we try to figure out and piece together. But there's always a lot of other things going on that I think we don't particularly see. And, whether that's, initiatives from board directors, whether it's from, direct from right from the top, from the president, of where they want to steer this organization. I think there's a lot that can be read. If you actually look and read between the lines, I think they actually show their hands tremendously with the way that the matchmaking goes, with the athletes that they put on the main card versus where they put on other aspects of the card, whether they give people matches or they don't, or how it comes about. I think it actually shows a lot as to what happens there. The stars always rise to the top. The guys that have the big personalities, that have the attention, that have the draw, the people that the fans want to see. And we've talked about it before with, a limited number of cards right now, numbered cards every single year with, 33 guys on Road to Title 3. It gets harder and harder for the strikers that are involved to get these matches and these opportunities. And I think people really need to cherish it and take it incredibly seriously, that when they have those opportunities, they have to make the most of it. They have to perform, and they have to do so in a way that's engaging and enticing to prove that they are professional athletes. I think that's one part that kind of dovetails into this as well, is that right now there's a lot of strikers, I can tell you, that aren't training as hard as they can every day. They're not doing their diet as hard as they can every day. They're not promoting on social media. Like, there's a big group, I'll say there's a big group of guys that aren't doing what's needed to be done to be superstars, and there's a select few that are. And so really aligning yourself, setting yourself up, in a position to be training every single day, hitting the gym, even though you don't have to get your endurance, even though this isn't a sport of endurance and power slap, but I'm telling you, if your endurance is up, it's going to help you in this sport. And so I think really taking this incredibly serious, proving that it's serious. And, you're a business, they're a business. You guys have entered into a mutual exclusive contract together. What you do has to benefit them. What they do has to benefit you. And it has to work collectively together for both parties to want to renew that contract, going forward. And so, I think a lot of that has to be taken into consideration. And so, it may seem on the outside, but I do honestly believe Erica, Frank, and the matchmakers are as fair as it can be. I can name a number of opportunities where they've given guys, based off their records, that shouldn't have gotten a second opportunity, but they have given second opportunities. They have given third opportunities. They've been flexible to people who have, got dropped out due to, disqualifying, a DQ from their opponent who striked them illegally. They give them the other opportunity to come back. And so, I think there's a lot of fairness there as well. And, I just think, guys, like you said, got to really focus on what you do, make yourself relevant, make yourself exciting. And, in the long term, if you're good to them, they'll be good to you back. I still firmly believe that.
100%. All right, moving on here. Ben here got a title shot calling over DQ, so Perez can develop. We said that on the show. I think that set a bad precedent, and I don't think we should continue it. And Ben here lost. I don't know what else there is to say. Chief's in the house. What's up, Chief? Again, I apologize. I know we're pretty behind. Texas or California. That's a good one. Vegas, PS10. Okay. Not a whole lot to work with there. All right. Turbo might as well be heavyweight due to missing weight. So him versus Perez, Ellis might as well happen. I mean, if he can make 205, he should stay at 205. I like him there. I think he's kind of what Corey was just talking about a minute ago. At heavyweight, I think he was unmotivated. I think he was just comfortable. I think he was taking advantage of the power, the God-given power he had. I think Turpin at 205 is a grinder. He's a worker, and I think that he disrupts this entire sport.
There's really not a lot of guys that I think could go up and be dominant, in this sport. And I've been a big advocate for guys going down, guys getting into shape, like we've seen with Isaiah. So, even Emmanuel Nunes moving down. There's a lot of precedent. Austin moving down, Wolverine moving down. There's a lot of precedent for guys dropping down that make a lot of sense. And, for guys going up, I think it just makes it a little bit more difficult. I know, contradictory to that is heavies going up to super. They're still undefeated, the guys that have done so. But I just think Austin's in a different realm going up to heavy. It's probably not the best thing for his career. I think he's got to figure it out, how to get back to 205, get there comfortably. We know he's got a new team under him, got a new trainer. And hopefully next time we see him out there, 205, because I still think he's got a lot to give. Still the most exciting division in Power Slap, if you ask me, with, Wolverine, Vern Cathy, Russell Rivera, and Austin Turpin. Those four guys, to me, lights out across the board.
100%. I don't see any other state getting a Power Slap card till next year. I agree with that. I think we go to Abu Dhabi, and we probably, if there's another event, I think there's enough time, but who knows? Last year they did the show, so I'm not really sure. But I would venture to guess that there's probably not another card outside of Vegas in the books this year.
Yeah. There's typically a big UFC card in Vegas, usually in December as well, to end out the year. So maybe we'll see something kind of pegged up with that.
Austin Turpin, Conor McGregor, Power Slap in terms of marketing and promoting, most marketable and promotable fighter. I agree with that.
I agree for sure. I think the Crazy Hawaiians push him a little bit, but I think Austin definitely, and Austin's the guy, even when he loses, his social media still grows. Nobody else can say it.
100%. And there was content about if he misses weight a third time, but who knows? Let's just hope that does not happen. Let's see what else we got here. 100% agree, Corey. It's a full-time job. You got to work at all the aspects. 100%. You're your own brand. That's what it comes down to. You're a brand ambassador of your own brand. Turpin's good at 205. He needs to dial it in. Absolutely. A lot of people go down because they weren't given the right time the first call around. So taking the third fight, they're expecting it to come. So better to stay ready. Yep, agree with that. Also, Corey mentioned that earlier. The training. Let's see here. Panic weight cutting mode. Get a lot of time. Knows best. Matchmaking's crazy right now. Yeah, I think there's a lot of fighters and a lot of opportunity for sure.
I agree with that for sure.
And it looks like we're all caught up.
Awesome, my man. Let's wrap it up, dude. I'm not getting the best service right now. Seems like the signal gods are playing against me here. So let's make it happen. And you're back tomorrow. You're flying solo. Unfortunately, I'm not going to be able to make the final slap, but I know you're going to be here immediately following the release of the episode. You're going to be holding down the ship. I know you got some incredible guests lined up, and you're not going to miss it. So I appreciate everybody who stuck it out all the way through. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, the notification bell, and the likes. Leave us a comment anytime. We always go back, even post. If you leave us a comment after this is up on YouTube, we always check it out. Things you like, things you don't like, things you want us to cover on future episodes. Let us know, because we're always here. Appreciate you all. Until next time, Ding. Enjoy.